Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and as you have probably gathered, this is my review of Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. And, okay, I'll say bad things, then I'll say some good things about Star Trek III. Well, first of all, okay, spoilers in this review, but then there's spoilers in pretty much all the reviews I do. Oh yes, and it's a leap year today, so yeah, I thought I'd, do something you don't do every day on a leap year, and I don't do reviews every day, so that's why I'm doing it today. Anyway, back to the point. When at the end of the film they get Spock at the end, it takes a lot to get him. Yes, a lot of sacrifices to get him, but eventually they get Mr. Spock. He has to have this mind transfer thing done on the planet Vulcan to restore his memory. And the Vulcan priestess says, "Who is the keeper of the Katra?" And McCoy says, "I am Leonard McCoy, son of David." Which to me sounds like quite a cheesy line, because another name, Son of David, is another name for Jesus, Is that a cheesy line, or is it deliberately in there? Because the story is about bringing people back to life, like Jesus coming back to life. No, I think Son of David is a cheesy line in a Star Trek film. Yeah. And another little blooper, or is it a blooper? I'm not too sure about this one. I watched Star Trek 3 a couple of years ago, I've seen it many times, and my mother saw part of it, and she said, when Kirk's son, Dr. David Marcus, is stabbed to death on the planet Genesis, he's killed by a Klingon, why doesn't he just come back to life? I thought if anyone dies on planet Genesis, it brings you back to life. I thought that's what happens. So why didn't David come back to life? And I was amazed. I'd never noticed that blooper before. Yeah. Or is it a blooper? I mean, does Genesis only bring dead things back to life when it's newly formed? But because it's been there a few days, it can't do it anymore. Well, they could have explained why. Why didn't it bring him back to life? Yeah. And another little blooper. James Horner, he's a brilliant composer and sadly no longer with us. When we see the Enterprise and it's leaving space dock, and the crew, or most of the crew of the Enterprise, have stolen the Enterprise. They're violating orders and going to go to the planet Genesis. And we have really dramatic music, not because it's going really fast, it's manoeuvring slowly out of space, but because of the principle, this is a big deal, they're going to risk losing all their careers to save Spock. Well, they're willing to do it because he was willing to give up his life for them, So it's very dramatic and everything. There's just one problem. Why did Admiral Kirk decide to steal the Enterprise at all? Why didn't he send a message to the USS Grissom, the science vessel that's by Genesis, and send this message saying, look, we know you can't send a military vessel to Genesis, so for that reason, can you please collect Mr. Spock, come to space dock, collect Dr. McCoy, take them both to planet Vulcan, and then get Spock's memory restored? Why didn't he just say that? Why this dramatic plan to steal the Enterprise? Why did he do that? Well, maybe that's kind of the point. Maybe he wasn't thinking that far ahead. He just, didn't think past saving Spock. But yeah, he could have just sent a message and got the Grissom to collect Spock, Oh, but if he'd done that, the Klingon vessel would have destroyed Grissom, and then the Klingons would have explored Genesis, Genesis would have blown up, and everyone would have been dead. So, oh dear. But Kirk didn't know that. Kirk didn't know that would have happened. But, well, it depends how you look at it, Kirk's plan worked out. Actually, it didn't. It didn't quite work out the way he wanted. Yes, he got Spock back, but consequently his son dies, and his favourite spaceship in the whole world, the Enterprise, is blown to bits, Now, if you were a diehard Star Trek fan in the 1960s, and you saw it blown up, the best spaceship in the world for 20 years, but that is a really big deal. Star Trek 3 was the first Star Trek film, I hadn't seen any episodes of the show, the first Star Trek thing in general that I ever saw. And, but even so, in spite of my ignorance, I got that it was a big deal, the Enterprise being blown to bits, yeah. Because it doesn't blow up in 1 second, no, it blows up slowly. The driving section, the bridge blows up first, sets up a chain reaction, slowly the saucer section explodes, and then the whole thing is blown to bits, and then slowly disintegrates, yeah. So it makes it clear that this spaceship is a really big deal, yeah. So, the original Enterprise destroyed, so very sad indeed. We had the death of Spock in Star Trek 2, now the destruction of the best spaceship destroyed, And okay, it's not a living entity, but the Enterprise is like their friend, that saved their lives many times, been on so many adventures in it. So yes, very sad indeed when the Enterprise is destroyed. Now, I have mixed feelings about bringing someone dead back to life. Well, what I mean is when they do it in a story, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, But it works in Star Trek 3, It doesn't cheapen the death at all. It would have cheapened his dramatic death if he'd just come back to life right at the beginning. But no, they didn't cheat and do that, no. Instead, it takes pretty much the whole film to get him back to life, so it